Hello, everyone. Dobar dan svima. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of MEKST Conference for inviting me, and all of you for coming. I'm really honored to be here. It's amazing that we have such a great event in Serbia with so many speakers, and I really hope you will learn something from us, and I'm sure we will learn a lot from you. For those who don't know me, I would like to say a few words about me. If you ask me what am I by profession, I will tell you I'm a pharmacist. But if you ask me what I truly am, I will tell you that I'm someone who lives to travel and travels to live. You can call me globetrotter, world traveler, wanderlust. You can name it however you want. But I'm someone who truly enjoys traveling, and that's one of my life passions. I'm sorry, okay. I visited over 75 countries so far, and my life goal is to visit every country in the world. After a few years of constant traveling, I started my blog that kind of describes my life. It's called Jovana's Life in a Suitcase. Eventually, I started sharing my adventures on Instagram, and last year I won a prize for Best Travel Instagrammer in Serbia. And last but not the least, I'm an influencer. I worked with many brands, airline companies, different tourism organizations, ministries, hotels, and restaurants. Although the word influencer is sometimes followed with a negative connotation, I like to say that we are all influencers because we all influence a certain amount of people around us. But we will talk more about that on my tomorrow's workshop. Now I would like to talk a little bit more about social media marketing. I wanted to ask you, how many of you have at least one account on social media? But then I realized it's a little bit stupid question because I'm sure we all have at least one account on social media. Statistics say that around 50 people in the world have at least one account on social medias, but I would say everyone who has an access to internet has an account. When we talk about social networks, the most numbers of accounts, Facebook is the social network that has the most number of accounts, but I would say Instagram is now the most popular social network, and it has the most number of active accounts. So my presentation today will be mostly on the topic of Instagram. Also, when we talk about influencer marketing, almost 90% of all influencer campaigns include Instagram. We shouldn't forget Facebook, because on Facebook we have a little bit older generation. I like to say that on Instagram people tend to like, but on Facebook people tend to buy, because older population, we can say, has a little bit more money, so we have a wider range of audience that has the buyer power. Also, when we talk about travel, there are many travelers groups on Facebook that are very active, that have really high engagements, so we definitely shouldn't forget Facebook when it comes to advertising in marketing. When we talk about influencer marketing, why is it better than traditional marketing? Actually, what is traditional marketing? That would be like TV, media, billboards. So influencer marketing brought us some differences. One of them is that influencer marketing is definitely cheaper. We all know how much does 1 minute on a TV show costs, or how much is one billboard. But also, for example, if you have a hotel and you want to do a promotion of that hotel, how much does it cost to hire a photographer, a model, a makeup artist, hairdresser? If you hire an influencer, you get all of those much cheaper. And also our reaches are much higher, so you have better return of investment. One of my friends, he's also an Instagrammer, he likes to say he doesn't go to TV shows anymore because his stories are seen by more people than are people who watch TV shows. And you have the exact target group that you need. When we talk about influencer marketing, we have measurable results. That means that we can see how many people did save our post, how many people did click on our ad, how many people did actually follow us. So we can really measure everything that influencer did for us as a brand. Influencers tend to give more authentic commercials. They tend to have more trust from their audience, and that creates better and deeper connection between the brand and the potential customers. Influencer industry is now a huge industry. It's estimated to be $13.8 billion industry, and it's growing every day. When we talk about influencer marketing, as I said, people mostly focused on Instagram. So the question is, why should we focus on Instagram? And why does everyone focus on Instagram when it comes to travel? Instagram is, before all, a visual platform, and tourism is an industry whose marketing has always been based on photos and videos. And also tourism and travel industry are one of the fastest growing industries in the world. So there must be a connection. These days, we even have like a specific type of tourism that's called social media driven tourism. I'm sure many of you visited at least one destination after saw it on Instagram. Eventually, that can bring some other problems like over-tourism, but that's a different topic. These days, we got some destinations even got different kinds of descriptions. They are described as Instagram-worthy or Instagrammable destinations. So I chose few examples from my experience because these are destinations that became super popular just thanks to Instagram. First picture that you can see, it's a hotel. It's called Face Suites, as I remember, in Malaysia. It's one of like kind of more expensive hotels in Malaysia, but people are ready to pay hundreds of dollars just to have a photo on this pool. Other example is Pedro de Telegrafo. It's from one of my recent trips. It's in Brazil. Don't worry, I didn't do anything dangerous. There's like a rock underneath. And these kind of photos became so popular that when you go there, you have a professional photographer, like one or two of them, who are ready to assist with photos, and you can even pay them so they can take your photos and send you later. And we were here like a month ago, so it's Corona time, there are less tourists, and we waited around 3 hours for this photo. So definitely Instagram brought to a really, really high popularity of this place. And the third destination is in Bali. How many of, actually, do you know what's the trick with this photo? Like, do you know is there a lake? Or... No. There isn't any water. Yes. Lena, you were there. That's why. So yeah, actually, this is like one of the temples in Bali. Not very important. It isn't different than any other temples. There are many more beautiful temples in Bali. But this one became extremely popular because one guy, like a few years ago, he had an idea to put a mirror underneath the camera, so there is no water. I didn't know that. I was really surprised when I came there. There's nothing. There's just like you stand in a line, you give him your phone, you tip him like $1 or $2, and then he puts the mirror underneath your camera and you get this photo. And we came to this place at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we still waited for 30 minutes. If we came later, we would probably wait for 3, 4, 5 hours. So those are, I think, really good examples of what can Instagram do for a destination. Sometimes, as I said, Instagram is, of course, social network that is based mostly on photos, but good photos aren't enough because all of us can make good photos. We all have good phones now. All cameras are very good. So what we need to give, there are like some extras that we need to give for people. It doesn't matter, do we want to be an influencer or we are a hotel, we are a brand, we are a company. We need to give value. We need to give education to our followers, or we need to evoke an emotion. Because we are people, and what we want are emotions, education, and value, of course. How should brands choose influencers? In my opinion, we shouldn't focus just on numbers. We should see, do we as a brand, or does a brand shares the same value, aesthetics, or the same target group. When we talk about the business, target group is the most important, of course, but still, even if someone doesn't have the same target group and you know that person makes great photos that would be a perfect fit for your brand or for your business, you should definitely hire that person. I gave some of few examples of people who I like to follow. They are mostly foreign travelers, because sometimes in Serbia it's really difficult. Traveling is expensive. In the beginning, traveling is very expensive, and then because of the economic situation of our country, not that many people have opportunities to travel as much as foreign travelers. So a few examples I gave are like Tina Lee, she's from New York. Then we have Andy, she's one of my favorite travel accounts. She's from Venezuela. We have Marta Sierra from Barcelona. And two men, Drew Binsky and Alvaro Rojas. They are two men who visited every country in the world. So for me, they are big role models. As I said, we definitely shouldn't just focus on numbers. Even if we want to focus on numbers, we should focus more on engagement rate. So that means someone could buy followers. It's even very easy now today to buy likes, to buy views on videos, but still I think you can recognize who has real followers, who has fake followers, and if a person shares your target group, it doesn't matter how many followers does a person have. I give you one of examples. If you're from Serbia, I'm sure you heard about Pink Lake. And I will say I was maybe one of the first persons who went there last year and created a boom. Like, that lake became really, really popular. Back then, I had 18,000 followers, so 1-8, just 18,000 followers. And you can see the statistics of my post. So it was shared over almost 7,000 times. It was saved over 3,000 times. The reach was 80,000 people. And I had just 18,000 followers. So if you have the right influencer, and if you have the people who are interested in his or hers content, you will definitely get good results, even if person doesn't have that many followers. A good example is Lena as well. She doesn't have that many followers, but she does a great job for tourism, and her posts are like shared. She has a very engaged audience. So I think brands, tourism boards, tourist organizations should also focus on smaller influencers, as we like to call them, nano influencers or micro influencers. And whatever you want to do, like Internet gave us an opportunity to be whatever we want. Internet gave us the opportunity to live our dreams, and the best time to use it is now. And in my opinion, there is no better time than now to grow and get visible on Instagram. So if you want to be an influencer, if you have a hotel, if you have an agency, if you are whatever you want to promote, use the opportunity that we have now. Thank you so much for your attention. I didn't want this presentation to be too long because we will talk more on this topic on tomorrow's workshop. I hope I will see many of you there as well. I would be very happy to stay in touch with you. If you have any questions, please let me know now, of course, and you can reach me through my email or through my Instagram account. And thank you so much for coming.